Hello, fellow ink drinkers, and welcome back to the Blind Girls Book Talk podcast. My name is Belle.
And I'm Aria.
And we are two legally blind sisters who love reading and, of course, love books. And so we decided to make this podcast together to discuss pretty much what we like about books, what we wish we could change about books, anything in between. There's some bookish challenges, bad retellings. Honestly, this is just a place where we can sit and talk and be nerds, and it's fine. I normally don't do the intro. This is normally Aria's job, so I apologize for it, but there is a reason. So today we are doing another one of Aria's bad retellings. And we had fun during Christmas. We did tipsy bad retellings of some Charles Dickens Christmas stories. And of course, Aria did the bad retellings, and Aria was the one who mainly got tipsy. Granted, we are both of age. We are of legal drinking age in the United States. So if you want to drink responsibly.
And don't drink and drive, because that's bad, and you're a bad person if you do it.
Yeah, don't do that too. So Aria had 2.5 small glasses of wine, and she is almost gone.
Maybe.
So while Aria's in this frame of mind, we are going to have her give a bad retelling of Jane Austen's Emma.
Uh-huh.
Now, spoiler warning.
For a book that's like hundreds of years old.
Yeah, I mean, there's a movie. There's many movies. I mean...
But we're not talking about those. Although Clueless is based off of Emma.
It is. Anyway, Aria's gonna give her bad retelling. I will maybe jump in whenever I feel like I need to clarify things. Probably not, because if anybody who has listened to our podcast, they know I love Austen. I am a huge Austen person.
Uh-huh.
However, I'm going to be having all of the Austen fans come after me because I hate Emma.
Shock and horror.
Yeah, well, most everybody loves Emma. I do not. I like the social commentary. However, Emma as a main character drives me up a wall. I can't do it. She annoys me. So I may jump in, I may not jump in, but we're just going to now pass it over to Aria, and she's just going to have a grand old time.
Uh-huh. Yep. So by the title, you can tell that this is about a girl named Emma. Like, that's her name. Don't wear it out. And so the story starts not about Emma, actually. They mention that she has a nanny. And the nanny, she went and got married. How dare this nanny go and get married? Because it leaves poor Emma all alone. And her dad also hates change. I think he has OCD. And he's just like, this is the worst travesty in the history of the world.
Wait, hold on a second. Aria, no. Just because you dislike change does not mean you have OCD. You hate change.
No, because he has to have things just so. They said so. So I'm pretty sure.
They said so.
I'm pretty sure he has OCD, but they didn't know what OCD was. So now he has OCD.
Oh, good.
Anyway, because the nanny got married, Emma was all alone, but she was like 18, so she was like, whatever, I don't care. And like other people kind of felt bad for her, but not really, because she was like the rich girl on campus. Like, she had it all. She had the looks. She had the know-how. She was like the top pinnacle of breeding in this small town, which like if she went to London, you know, it would be a the little fish in a big pond or something. Like, it wouldn't have mattered, but like in her little town, she was the it girl. And now somehow, as she was like going around, she met this random teenage girl who was like close in age to her. I do not remember her name, but
Harriet?
Is that her name? I didn't think it was Harriet.
I'm pretty sure you're talking about Harriet.
I didn't think it was Harriet. I don't know what it was, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't Harriet. But anyway, her and this teenage girl become besties because Emma is like, girl, I'm going to fix you up. I'm going to make you my protege so that way I'm not all alone no more.
Yeah, you're talking about Harriet.
And I don't think her name is Harriet. Now, while she's becoming besties with this girl who remains nameless because it's not Harriet.
Yes.
Okay, so it's really confusing, right? It's this whole thing is just super confusing. But essentially, there's this preacher dude in town. Okay? The preacher dude is kind of like the closest to the next epitome of breeding in the town. I don't know why Emma thinks this, because like preacher men in this time in Austen's work are not anything. Like, they're nothing. They're trash. But
Northanger?
Wait, is Tilney a preacher dude?
Yeah, that's like what he wants to become.
But he's not, though. Like, he
Mansfield
didn't make
Park.
it there. Like, the minute that they put the like collar thingy on him, that's when he becomes trash.
Okay, well, there's Mansfield Park too.
I don't know Mansfield Park, so it's irrelevant to this discussion.
No, because you're just basing everything off Collins.
Sure am, and this preacher dude doesn't help the cause. So preacher dude ain't worth nothing, but Emma thinks that he is. And Emma is just like, I want to be a little matchmaker moo. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up my new bestie with the preacher dude. Now, the new bestie, there's actually a guy she really likes, and he's like a farmer, and it's actually like a really good match for her.
Guess
but Emma's
what?
like,
You're talking about Harriet.
no, her name is not Harriet. I don't know what it is, but it's sure not Harriet.
Oh my gosh, it's Harriet.
So her name is Bestie. So Bestie.
Harriet.
Bestie is just like, I kind of like this like farmer dude. Like, he's a good match for me. He's really nice to me. I like him. And Emma's like, honey, don't do this. Don't do this. You need to get with the preacher dude. And I think he likes you. And Bestie is just like, no way. Okay. Well, actually, the farmer dude proposes to Bestie, but Bestie turns him down because Emma told her to. So she does. So essentially, Emma does everything she can to push preacher dude to Bestie. And eventually, preacher dude is just like, so Emma, do you want to marry me? And Emma's like, what are you talking about, my guy? Like, I have this perfectly good girl for you to marry. Like, I'm setting you up. What do you want from me? And preacher dude is just like, no, Emma, I took everything as it was you who wanted to get to know me. You were using this other girl as a guise. You wanted to get to know me, and you wanted to marry me. I can see through your teenage young woman plots. And Emma is just like, dude, no, absolutely not. Like, I swore to my bestie that you were the one for her. And I swore that you, like, reciprocated those feelings. And preacher dude's like, sure not, because you are the only girl for me. He pulls a Gaston.
It's like, yes.
And Emma's like, absolutely not. And the preacher dude like runs away because he's embarrassed. Which is hilarious. So now, also in the story, I don't know his name, but there is a guy who's been friends with Emma's family for a really long time.
Mr. Knightley?
I thought it was Heathcliff.
I thought it was Heathcliff.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it is Knightley.
It is Knightley. Because we're not in Bronte, sweetie. Heathcliff. That's Wuthering Heights, love.
So Knightley is besties with Emma and her dad. And he comes over to visit every now and
They're
then.
like neighbors. And his older brother is married to Emma's sister.
They're besties. Well,
they're before Harriet came along.
They're childhood besties.
Emma and Knightley are the best of friends. And
childhood besties.
Yeah. Her older sister is married to his brother. They live next door. Knightley's best friends with her father too, because her father's all alone. He's a lonely old man, and it's actually kind of sad, but it's fine.
Knightley somehow finds out about this plot, and he's like, Emma, my girl, you are not a matchmaker. Don't ever do this ever again. And Emma learns her lesson and is just like, you know what, Knightley, you right. So there's another girl that comes to town, and her name is Jane. Now, okay, so in the town, right, Emma's top pinnacle of breeding. But then there are these two spinster ladies who they just kind of live in the town. And they're kind of town busybodies, but at the same time, they're really nice. So people invite them to stuff. And, they just kind of, live. Now, they have a niece, and the niece is this Jane girl who comes to visit, right? And so she comes to visit, and she's just kind of, there. And Emma doesn't like Jane, because Jane is the only one who comes close to being the upper echelon top girl vibes that Emma is. And so Emma is pretty jealous, but because her aunts are spinster ladies, that's the only thing that's keeping her down. That's what it is. Let's be real. So not long after this girl comes to town, there's this dude who also comes to town, and he's the son of the nanny's husband. So the nanny who got married, her and her new husband are still friends with Emma and her dad and the family, right? And so his son, because I guess his first wife died or something. So he marries the nanny. Now, his son comes to visit him not long after this Jane girl comes to visit him. Jane girl comes to visit the town in general. So he's just kind of going around, and he meets Emma, and sparks fly. And so everybody's ooh, kind of looking just are they going to get together? Is he going to propose? Is that what's going to happen? But it's very, very not like that. But, well, kind of. They flirt a lot.
I mean, yeah, they actually do.
They flirt a lot.
They flirt, but here's the issue with them. They are both just very flirty people.
Yeah.
So the fact that then they're put together, everybody's just like that.
Ooh.
Those people in high school.
They want to be couple goals, but they're really not couple goals. They give the appearance that they are, but they really aren't.
Sure.
Anyway, like I said, with the spinster aunts, they're poor. And somehow one day this Jane girl just gets a piano, and everybody's just where did the piano come from? And nobody knows. And I know, and now that I know, I wish I didn't know, but I know. And so I think then at some point, Emma and the new guy in town, the flirty guy.
I don't remember his name. I apologize.
I don't know his name either. It's kind of confusing.
Listen, I hate this book. I dislike all the men in this book. So,
Knightley isn't that
bad. However,
but
I don't know.
The preacher dude is a creep.
I don't know. Emma and then the preacher dude and this dude, I just can't.
So, Emma and flirty guy, they're we should hold a ball. And everybody's oh my gosh, that's the best idea ever. But then Flirty Guy's mom gets sick or something. Or aunt, maybe it's aunt. Somebody that he lives with gets sick. And so he's called back. And so everybody's like, oh, drat, we can't have a ball now. And then everybody's sad. Churchill, his name is Churchill.
Oh, yeah, Frank Churchill.
His name is Churchill because
I
it's
don't
in
know
my
why
notes.
I wanted to give him, like, some other name. I think I wanted to give him the name of the preacher dude, but I'm not even going there.
Well, speaking of the preacher dude, when he ran away because he was embarrassed, I think he went to Bath or something, and while he was there, he got married. It was literally, like, a week after Emma's like, I'm not going to marry you, and he gets married. And so he gets married, and he brings his new wife to town, and everybody's just, like, kind of like watching her like, who are you? And at first everybody kind of hates her, but then she is kind of like one of those like snake people who just kind of like worms their way in, and like, you know, they're poisonous and venomous, but like they're already there. So you kind of just have to let them be and not let them bite you. Like, that's legit what this lady is. And so eventually Churchill comes back and they throw the ball. They are able to throw this ball. So at this ball, Emma's bestie is just kind of standing there. And like most of every other guy has been taken in a dance. And the only guy, there's only 2 guys left. And one of the guys that is left is the preacher dude. Now, instead of being like a nice dude and going over and being like, do you want to dance to bestie? Preacher dude is just like, I'm married now. I don't need to dance anymore. And he like runs away somewhere and hides. And so Bestie is real upset about that. And Knightley is the only other man who's not dancing. And he's like, you want to dance? And so he dances with her. And Emma sees this. And Emma is just like, OMG, that is the nicest thing in the history of ever. Later on, Knightley dances with Emma. And Emma's just like, that was really cool of you. And Knightley's like, I know. And so then Bestie is walking around one day and gypsies attack her and Churchill saves her. I have no idea what that has to do with anything, but it is in my notes, and so it must have been important. So then, after that incident, Emma sets up this picnic date where they get a bunch of people and they go for this like romp in the country. I think actually they go to like Knightley's house first and they stay there. And then like one day they decide to go out for like a picnic in the fields or in the countryside. Who knows where they go? No one really knows. And so like while they're on this picnic, Churchill and Emma are flirting it up. And then the spinster aunt also comes, and Emma starts picking on the spinster aunt for some odd reason. Like, I don't know why. But then the spinster aunt is really upset. And so Emma then just realizes, wow, I just inserted my foot in my mouth. And Knightley is really mad. And he's just like, girl, I know you're better than this. Get your life together and not do that. So then she tries to make it right somehow. I don't know how. And Knightley finds out and he's like, good girl. And then then after they go home, Emma, I think, goes to visit in her, like, trying to penance with the spinster aunt. And she finds out that Jane takes a governess position. And, it's Churchill's foster mom. She dies, which I don't understand because, yeah, I don't get that. But whatever, we go with it. So then, after that, the next thing you find out is that, like, when Churchill comes back from, like, the funeral and stuff, he's like, hey, Emma, by the way, me and Jane are engaged. And we've been engaged for, like, a year. And it was Jane taking the governess position that made me be like, oh, we should actually, like, make this public. Because it was, like, a secret engagement. I have no idea why. But, like, they loved each other or something. And so he's just like, I know we flirted a lot. And I know I kind of led you on. But, like, do you have hard feelings? And Emma was just like, no hard feelings at all. And so then, because of that dance at the ball where Bestie and Knightley danced, Bestie thinks that Knightley is now in love with her. Okay. And Emma is just like, wait a minute, I hate this. I'm actually really jealous because I actually kind of love Knightley. I think I love Knightley. And so,
yeah.
and so she then somehow, the farmer guy that Bestie got proposed to before, he comes back into the story. He enters the chat again and proposes again. And the girl's like, well, what do I do? Because I actually kind of like him. And Emma's like, girl, take the man. Take the man. Just do it. Because I don't want you to have Knightley. And so then Emma's just like, man, I love Knightley. And then one day Knightley shows up and is like, so I love you. And I want you to marry me. And Emma's like, boy, say less. I just realized this. But at first she was just like, I have to still live with my dad. Like, I don't know how this is going to work. And Knightley's like, well, I can move here for a little bit until your dad dies. And Emma's just like, this is the perfect plan. Knightley, you are the best man. And so he ends up proposing to Emma. Emma's like, yeah, sure. And then the book ends with like everyone getting married. But anyway, Bestie gets married to the farmer dude. Emma gets married to Knightley. And I guess Jane and Churchill get married somewhere. But after Churchill was like, no hard feelings, they exit the chat. Like, Jane and Churchill just exit the chat together.
They exit the chat.
Yeah. But that's it. Round of applause. That was the best bad retelling ever.
I don't even know how to end this.
Well, what did I get any of it right?
I mean, yeah. I mean, you got who ends up with who right. You missed the Emma's sister and Knightley's brother have a baby.
Oh, yeah, they do. And they come to visit for, like, Christmas or something.
Yeah.
And, like, they're all together, like, this one big happy family. And Emma is just kind of like, oh, this is nice. And, like, her dad is even like, this is nice, even though he's, like, OCD and normally just, like, holes up in his study. But, like, he comes out for a little bit and is just like, aw.
But you got who ends up with who.
Preacher Man and Snake Lady are really weird.
Yeah, I do like, so there's a video series of Emma on YouTube. Oh, shoot. Emma Approved is the name of it. If you want to watch it, go ahead. It gives a modern spin on the story of Emma. And I like what it does in that one better, because the people who did Lizzie Bennet Diaries did that. So the person that Preacher Dude ends up with, that's not what he is in the show. But the person he ends up with is Caroline Bingley. Like, they bring her back.
The crossover is real.
And so, like, I don't know why. I just always loved that. I was just like, yes.
I find it funny that the girl who becomes a governess or tries to become a governess is named Jane. And then there's Jane Eyre.
Well, I mean, there's also, like, Jane Austen herself.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
I love how your deranged mind just jumped to Jane Eyre, Bronte, and, like, completely forgets
Listen,
the author of the
I
book.
don't know why my brain is trying to make Emma a Bronte novel, but it is.
It's not.
It really is, and it's a problem.
It's not.
Well, that's it.
Yeah, yep. Mm-hmm.
Well, we want to thank you guys for coming along and listening to my drunk ramblings, because I think they're funny. I hope you find them funny. If you like this episode, if you want to hear more of these tipsy bad retellings, please consider following the podcast and sharing the episode with your friends. These are things that you can do to help a tipsy girl out, and she would appreciate that. And then, what we gonna be talking about next time?
Next time, we are going to be doing another nostalgia read episode.
Oh, it's been a hot minute since we did one of those.
Okay, so I'm going to get Arya to bed.
Yes, my bedtime.
Yeah, it is. We're going to get you some food first.
Oh, bagel bites.
Okay, so we'll see you all next time.
Bye.